Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Forge AI Labs. I am Cam, and I am your instructor for today's lecture. Today's lecture will actually be on the topic of Claude Co Work. Here at Forge AI Labs, our overall goal and mission is to empower adult learners through teaching them technical skill sets, which can make them more efficient and which they can utilize for socioeconomic mobility. Now for Claude, Claude is one of my tools of choice for utilizing generative AI just because I appreciate how comprehensive its answers and responses are to various questions that I may have to ask. And within today's lecture and topic, my goal is to use the new feature that they recently released called Claude Co Work, which you can actually use to assist you with taskings in both your professional and as well as personal environment in order to become more efficient overall. So that way your days can run a lot smoother while potentially getting more done or at least getting things done, but it being a lot easier than it may have been in the past. Now, for Claude Co Work, it can do many things. It can organize files, and it can do things within Excel and create PDF documents and all sorts of administrative taskings with minimal human intervention, which is extremely helpful, and it can save a lot of time that we spend doing work that's tedious or very repetitive that takes up much of our day. For me in particular, what I wanted it to do was I needed a tool that I could easily access on my desktop where I can track all the different taskings that I need to do during a particular day and then over the span of a week. And I wanted to ensure that it was directly connected to bigger goals, and in this case, tied to my finances. And now for what I did, all that I did is that I went to is that I first went to the Claude application, and I'll share that application really quickly. And here we are. And I did try having it organized files for me first. And after having it organized files for me, the next step that I took is that I just wrote a prompt. This was just vibe coding, just freestyling from my head for what I wanted. No necessary framework or technical structure, just testing out Claude Co Work just to see what is its true capability. Since I'm actually less than 24 hours into using this particular tool myself, and I just wanted to try it out. And just as I explained, I said, create me a to-do list tracker where I can track things on a weekly basis with an executable link, since I want to be able to just click on a link and then it takes me straight to a tab that has everything that I'm working on at the time for my different taskings for the week. And for it to track certain things, like for an example, I am a PhD student. So tracking deadlines for assignments is of utmost importance. And and then through my testing process, I did ask it to add a net worth module within the actual application as well, since what I wanted to do was have my weekly goals tied directly into my bigger goals already, which would be tied into finances. That is how I structure things to make sure I am overall getting things done personally in general, since organization and discipline are huge in the execution of goals. And I continue to update the application as well to make sure salary information and things could be included. So that way someone can have a full scope of what their actual responsibilities you need to do to level up. And then also tying it directly to your financial goals of what you need to do to elevate to that next socioeconomic level that you desire. which can give you that mobility in order for you to truly achieve those dreams that you have. Now, for the actual tool that I created from those prompts that I just showed you, you could easily do the same thing yourself. And all I did was just have it as a Microsoft Edge executable link on my desktop and just waiting for it to present really quickly. Yes, I just have to give the system time sometimes, but that's okay. So as a next step, I created my tool, and the goal of the tool, as I said, is to track my work-related taskings I need to do both professionally and personally. And I have it first at the top of the dashboard, which gives me an overall view of the taskings I have that I need to do. And then in my different areas of life that I'm focused on, and then as well as the taskings down here, which I can click on and mark and edit or delete as needed. And then on the all task, it just shows strictly the task and then allows me to just filter as needed based on the life category. If whether if it's active, completed, or I just want to view everything, the priority level and particular due dates. And to add a task, I would simply just click add task and just put the title, the category it's in, the priority that it falls under, the due date for the tasking, the status, and then any notes that I want to put for any additional context. And here I do have the actual schedule that I created, which shows the different taskings that I put for each day, and then allows it to track it based off of those categories as well and give me a quick snapshot of exactly when. Any additional documents that I want to upload to add context or to create particular taskings within the schedule, I can also upload them here. I can export this information in an Excel file, and then checking in would just be me clicking here and then allowing me to see automatically what I have going on for the particular day. And I also have the network tab. So this isn't my information. It's just random numbers I plugged in just to see hypothetical scenarios. And with this, it just shows where you can track assets and liabilities to see where you're at. So see where you're at socioeconomically speaking, your overall personal or the financial health of your families. And then income, where you can just see where you're at with how much money you're making off of properties and purchases. And then also you can put your tax rate, which is just based off of if you're married or if you're single and how many dependents that you have. Then you can also go in here to enter expenses that you have related to things such as education or student loan debt payments and things like that, various expenses you may have, rent, those types of items, so you can see how much money you're actually spending, my apologies, and actually see the overall cash flow that you have from your assets minus your liabilities, and you can see your debt to assets ratio as well. So that way you have a full picture of your financial health. You can also have snapshots of the actual numbers taken and then included here for future data analysis. And, and also as well have a report actually go in and actually see what is your actual socioeconomic class and positioning. So that way you actually know where you're actually at financially at the time, and then even down to your class. So you can see what your individual income class is compared to your household income classes, for example, just for a few examples. And then onwards, also, you can also add context to the information itself also, and then put like where you're at in the world, and then also put the state city, and zip code, which also adds context since actually, depending on where you put that you are, it will change your socioeconomic status. So this example where if somebody is in Washington, D.C., as an example, a more expensive area, you see how it immediately changes them from being upper class in income and upper middle class and household income to being upper middle class and individual income and middle class, just because cost of living varies from place to place. And this is my overall tool that I created, just getting started with Claude. I will say I am still in the beginner stage overall. And while I'm still maybe in the beginner stage overall myself using this particular tool due to it being very new, which would be the case for us all overall. This is just one example that we can all do to actually get started, to become more efficient in our taskings. I hope that you all learned something new today. If you enjoyed the material, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video from ForgeAI Labs. My name is Cam, your lecturer for today. Thank you and goodbye.